The story is about a man calling the police because his wife is missing. When the police arrive, they find a messy office with signs of a struggle. There's a lot of blood, and they discover a woman's body on the floor, who turns out to be someone they know. Let's get to know who that girl is and what happened to her. Shaita Tate was a respected defense attorney in Baton Rouge. She was found dead in her office, having been stabbed multiple times. The police knew her personally and found it especially difficult to see someone they knew in that state. Shaita's husband, Greg Harris, was the one who called 911. He was very emotional and needed to be taken away from the scene so he could calm down before being interviewed by the police. The investigators found Shaita Tate's wallet missing, but other valuable items were left behind, ruling out robbery as motives. She was attacked multiple times, suggesting a personal attack. Long hair found in her hand indicates the attacker might have been a woman. Shaita was known to be strong-willed and a fighter, but the question arises in the mind is what happened with Shaita and who else did this to her. Stick with us that this channel is here to reveal the truth about Shaita's heartbreaking murder. The police started their investigation with her husband, Greg Harris. They asked him what he did that day.
You killed your wife!
I did not kill my wife.
Oh, yeah, right.
Didn't kill my wife. Didn't kill my wife.
He said that around 7 o'clock, Shaita phoned him and asked him to bring her some food because she was hungry. He went to McDonald's, and when he arrived at Shaita's workplace, he began helping her tidy up the office. She then asked him to come over and assist her with the books. Greg confirmed that she called him first. At some point, Shaita told Greg she'd be working late because she had a client coming. Greg went home around 10 o'clock to 10:30 p.m., but woke up around 2 o'clock to 2:30 a.m. and realized Shaita wasn't home. He tried calling her, but got no answer. By 5:30 a.m., he went to her office and called 911. Greg was questioned by the police, which he knew was something that happens sometimes. Greg said he was just as concerned about Shaita as her family. Shaita often took on tough cases that other lawyers avoided because they involved scary crimes and difficult clients. Shaita's missing wallet was found 20 minutes away from her office on the night she disappeared. It was discovered at 10:30 p.m. on Gardere Lane, a high-crime area in Baton Rouge. Surprisingly, the wallet still had all her money and cards inside. This raised questions about why someone would discard the wallet but leave everything inside the wallet. When detectives looked into Shaita's client list, they found a problem. The secretary couldn't confirm Greg's claim that Shaita had a client meeting the night she was killed. After this new information, investigators were looking closely at Greg, who was still at the police station. They asked him how someone could have entered the office. Greg said he didn't know. They decided to check his background and found there was a warrant for his arrest because he had allegedly hurt Shaita in the past. When they asked Greg about any physical fights they'd had, he hadn't been completely honest. They wanted to know why he hadn't told them about their past. While they were talking to Greg, they found Shaita's wallet on Gardere Lane. They wanted to test Greg. They said they could check phone records to see where he'd been. They asked him directly, "When was the last time you were on Gardere Lane?" Greg said, "I was on Gardere Lane last night."
When the last time you been on Gardere Lane?
Gardere Lane?
This was a big moment in the interview because Greg had already told them he had gone straight home after leaving the office. Gardere Lane is far from his home and known for crime, like drug dealing. He admitted he went there to buy steroids, which he didn't want to say because it's illegal. During the interview, investigators noticed fresh scratches on Greg's hand, which made them suspicious because Shaita, the victim, likely scratched her attacker. Greg said he got the scratches while working, so they arrested him for the domestic abuse warrant. Based on the differences in his interview, police secure a warrant to search Greg's home and vehicles. As the detectives searched the Mercedes, the pair of sunglasses caught their attention. They noticed what appeared to be the speck of blood on the glasses. This is the vehicle that Greg Harris drove the night of the murder. Investigators sent the evidence to the lab for testing. When they followed the evidence they had, they felt Greg Harris was the person that killed Shaita. Then something unexpected happened that made the police change their focus. They received a call suggesting that Shaita Tate was a lesbian and might have been involved in a romantic situation with other women, and one of them might have killed her. Everyone was surprised by this information because it was unexpected. They checked the phone records and traced the call to a cell phone in Dallas, Texas. They later discovered that the caller was actually Greg Harris's sisterly Greg Harris's sister. When questioned, Greg's sister denies making the call and refuses to cooperate. There's nothing we can charge her with at that point. The investigation went back to focusing on Greg. They found out he had money problems, with his house in foreclosure and bills overdue. He might have thought if Chiquita left him, he'd get nothing, but if she died, he'd get half her property. They found Chiquita's blood on Greg's glasses and both their DNA on the glasses. The prosecution pointed to Greg's financial problems as a motive, along with the evidence of Chiquita's blood on his glasses and the wallet found on Gardere Lane. The defense brought up the phone call from Greg's sister and the weave found in Chiquita's hand at the crime scene. They argued that the hair was staged because typically, if you're dying, your hand would be clenched with the hair in it, but Chiquita's hand was open. It was just a drama scene to save her brother from guilt. After 2 weeks of hearing evidence, the jury went to decide what would happen to Greg Harris. They came back just 3.5 hours later with a surprising decision. Greg Harris was found guilty, but not of murder. Instead, they convicted him of a lesser crime called manslaughter. In Louisiana, jurors can choose a lesser charge if they have doubts about the original accusation. It was shocking. If Greg's lawyers had wanted him to be charged with manslaughter, they would have had to agree that he caused the death, but did it in a moment of strong emotion. However, neither side argued for manslaughter during the trial. Gerg got the maximum sentence of 40 years in prison. While justice was served in some way, I feel he should have been imprisoned for life. In the end, the conclusion of Chiquita's murder case brought some closure but left many questions. Greg Harris's conviction for manslaughter rather than murder was unexpected, reflecting the complexities of the legal system. Despite the sentence, the sense of justice may not feel entirely fulfilled, leaving a lingering sense of injustice. Yet, the case serves as a reminder of the importance of seeking truth and accountability in the pursuit of justice for victims like Chiquita. Hope you liked the video. Subscribe my channel. Thank you.